Everyone knows the incredibly impressive stories of Cape Verde and Curacao, but we need to talk about the teams that have been incredibly disappointing in this tournament. Turkey. I mean, this one was obvious, wasn't it? They didn't score a goal in the first two games, and it was getting somewhat alarming because their group wasn't difficult enough for them to be having that problem. Even more so because just about every single prediction had Turkey finishing in first or second, qualifying alongside the US. So to end up entering the final day in 4th place with 0 goals scored in the first two games was astounding, especially because the two teams who played were ranked lower than you. I remember watching them tie with Spain in late 2025, thinking that this might be the beginning of their rise to stardom, especially with some of the young players they have like Güler, Yildiz, but it has been incredibly disappointing. Funnily enough, outside of goals and wins, they're one of the best teams in the tournament, being 9th in XG, 4th in possession, 2nd in shots, and 7th in big chances created. But unfortunately, potential doesn't win games. Of course, after I wrote this, they played their hearts out versus the United States and won, but it doesn't even matter. Uruguay. Honestly, they're big by name and not by talent, because clearly their talent is barely there. It was just incredibly disappointing to watch them struggle to finish in the final third over and over again, and then have a shitty 40-year-old goalkeeper who made not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 errors in 3 games alone. Do you know how bad you have to be to get subbed at halftime? Playing so poorly as a team that you draw with two teams that are ranked 45 and 51 spots below you is ridiculous and simply just sad. Watching them play, it literally looks as if they are playing together for the first time. There's nearly no chemistry on the field, and they might have been better off bringing back Cavani and Suarez and just saying fuck it. Remember to like and subscribe if you want more videos like this one. Senegal. This one might be a bit of a controversial one because Senegal was part of the hardest group in my opinion. So they do get a bit of a pass as they had to play Mbappe and Haaland in their first 2 matches, and I genuinely say that no other team had a harder first 2 matches. Then adding on to this, there's a bunch of controversy going on with their team as well. One of their biggest problems has been how slow they are in the first half. Out of all 12 teams to score 7 or more goals in the group stage, there are only 1 of 2, including Switzerland, who don't have multiple goals in the first half. 7 of their 8 goals scored came after 50 minutes. Watching them play, you can still tell they have lineup issues to work out, as not only did they have a different front 3 in every single game, defensively, they haven't really been as strong as you think they would have been. But I will give credit to them for handling business against Iraq, impressively becoming the first African team to score 5 goals in a World Cup game, and being the only 3-point team to qualify. And I'd honestly argue that they are better than some teams who directly qualified, but they were unlucky and had to be in a much harder group. Still disappointed in them having to rely on other teams playing poorly to qualify for a 3rd place spot though. Ecuador. This one is a bit less surprising to me than Turkey, because although they couldn't score until the last game, if you took one look at their squad, you already knew this. While their defense is elite, arguably one of the best in the entire tournament with Pacho, Caicedo, Hincapié, Estupiñán, and more, their primary attacking option is a 36-year-old Enner Valencia who peaked 4 years ago at the 2022 World Cup. And I'm not saying that he's bad, but I'm certainly not saying that he's good either. While Ivory Coast is a good team, Ecuador really messed up when they didn't score against Curacao. And you know it's bad when you help tie the record for the most saves in a World Cup game ever. So even though they did end up qualifying via 3rd place, it's difficult for me to see them getting far because their competition would definitely be scoring goals, and they would have to match that. Granted, they did end up playing really well against Germany on the last day, to give them credit, but can they repeatedly do that round after round? We will see. Looking at the bracket, you could make the argument that them finishing 3rd and playing Mexico and Mexico City is an easier opponent than playing against Holland and Norway. Either way, scoring the same amount of goals as Qatar, Tunisia, and Haiti is disappointing. Belgium. Yes, I know they won their group, but if you don't understand how bad Belgium has performed, they were 3rd in a group behind 2 teams who have never made it past the group stage before. It is incredibly clear that age is starting to catch up to them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up becoming one of the big countries that struggle to qualify for the World Cup in 2030. It is so impressive that if you were to make a team with the best players from the rest of the group, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand, you would likely say that the Belgium team alone is still better than that team, at least on paper. Ironically enough, Belgium and Senegal were the only top 15 ranked teams to not win one of their first 2 matches, and they both ended up scoring 5 goals on the final match day to qualify. The weird thing about Belgium is right before the World Cup, they played 3 games against Croatia, Mexico, and the US, all decent opponents and performed extremely well. Granted, these were friendlies, but 2 draws in the easiest group of the entire World Cup is a complete 180 from what you would expect from them. Honestly, the win against New Zealand, the lowest ranked team in the tournament, didn't move me at all. There's no reason they should have been in 3rd place before the game anyway, and they also have the least amount of points out of any group winner. Embarrassing. So I do have some honorable mentions, teams that I expected to be a little bit better than they actually were. Sweden. To be fair, being in a group with the Netherlands and Japan is tough, which is exactly why they're an honorable mention, but outside of running up the score in Tunisia, they've been very unimpressive. The only other team to qualify with 7 goals allowed is Norway, who didn't really play the last game, so it kind of isn't the same. They're incredibly lucky that they got that point versus Japan, or else I don't think they would have qualified. But honestly, looking at it, getting 2nd place wouldn't have been much better, as Japan have got to play Brazil, and 1st place Netherlands has to play Morocco. So really, the entire group got fucked. South Korea. I didn't expect South Korea to dominate, but for the quality of players that they have on their team, it is extremely disappointing to see them get eliminated by a South Africa team who's ranked 35 spots below them. They have an incredible amount of talent, and their group wasn't difficult at all, as many people predicted them to qualify alongside Mexico, but the goal scoring just did not show up, as they are one of only 3 3rd place teams to not score in multiple games. What's even more unfortunate for them is that they only allowed 3 goals, so they were pretty good defensively, tied for 2nd place out of the 3rd place teams only behind Ecuador and Ghana. This is Gotti Films. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know if I missed anything, and stay fantastic.